sports listeners. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
This is the whole hour of Sound of Our Teen Athletes. And all those people and businesses that support those teen athletes. Yeah, everybody's looking at me. Yeah, I got my paint clothes on. I couldn't sleep.
Well, I was looking at Dominique and struggling with the door over there.
I know. Yeah, okay. I couldn't sleep. So
I was afraid the door was going to win.
Yeah,
you got paint all over the place now.
Yeah, Michelle Meyering knows what that's like when we can't sleep. Right? Yes. She likes to do that. She call it what? You call it
fluid art.
Fluid art, right? I call it stop and drop. You know, when you have nothing else to do, you just take that
stop,
bucket.
drop, and roll. But that's the fire department, and if you're on fire.
I just drop it. That's it.
I know, but painting is therapeutic, no matter what form.
Exactly. I go.
You know, I think it's so amazing that you're making use of people's recycled paint, and then when you go to Home Depot, she catches all the oopses.
That's it.
You know, the 50-cent dollar or two oopses, and it's
that's
great.
The way to do it.
I do wealth planning, gift planning, legacy planning. I do a lot of planning, and then, I like it when they have this special cart and, they have 99 cents on those little cans. I like it when the machine doesn't work. Hey, they're high-quality paints.
They are.
And I mix them up anyway. And I like putting my own little chemicals in there, and I do all kinds. I'm sure Michelle does the same thing. We like to play.
We like to play. I know. I take the paint skins, when you get all the drippings.
Oh, yeah.
And I do card making. I know. So I punch them, and I put them into my cards, or I put them on magnets. And now I bought stuff to make them into jewelry.
It's fun. So I'm making up for that childhood that I missed.
And we must have created a few of those oops cans because I learned a very valuable lesson when it comes to painting stucco. The darker the color, the more pigment they have to put into it in order for it to stick to the stucco.
Right.
Which means there's less of the base.
Right.
And so the paint can already is full, right? It's already got a gallon in there.
Right.
You almost have to put a half gallon of pigment in per gallon of base.
The best.
That's crazy.
The best one ever.
Talk about oops.
The best one ever. And Sasha, your daughter, that's a good name, so you would know it's your daughter. Okay. She caught me. Well, I got to say, and I'll never do this, but and I'm sure you've made that one that you said, I don't know, maybe delusional, whatever, but it's like, oh my God, this is it. I killed it, right? And I had one of those moments where it was divinity hit. I mean, now you're thinking about, and I don't even like naming my stuff, right? But I'm like, oh God, what? Creation, like, what are you going to call it, right? And it was so awesome. And I'm like doing the cleanup, okay? And somehow, right? She called you, right? Everybody must have heard this. And I don't know how the last bucket somehow, and it was a full can, of course, I drop it. Okay, and I drop it, and it was an open can, and it hits the ground, and I don't know how paint ends up going. We have a thing called gravity, right? Well, when it hits the ground, it goes straight up. Okay, well, 40% of it hits me, and when this happens, I see Sasha's walking up the driveway, right? So now that everything starts going in slow motion. Okay, so as the paint starts splashing in slow motion on my face, okay? The other 35% hits the canvas, okay?
Perfect, beautiful canvas.
It was called. First of all, don't call it canvas, call it creation. Okay? And then all of a sudden, the other 3% lands on her, okay?
Geez.
Oh, yeah. And then the rest of it hits the Range Rover, okay? Oh, yeah. We just like everything.
Fortunately,
right?
It's water-based.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. It's all right. But
in moments like this, the first sensation is anyone watching?
Yeah.
And then when you realize someone is watching, you're just praying that it all comes out.
And they don't have their cell phones open with their camera.
No, it's just like whatever. And I just, I blew because I was so mad, right? And then I go, tell me, and I'm sorry, I don't even care. And I know, I'm going to say, I see this, good looking, he's looking at, where's she going to go with this? I mean, something's wrong with her. I am on no medication.
Don't worry, we do the same thing.
I used F as an adjective, a pronoun, a conjunction, whatever, because I didn't really do that well in English. Superlative, thank you. A past participle or whatever. And every single, there wasn't very many words. Then I looked at her, right? And I had it all over. I go, has this ever happened to you? And she's so calm. She goes, oh, all the time. It's kind of like when you have the Vitamix, right? when you hit that left button by accident, and it goes, oh yeah, and this is the one time that you didn't put the cap on it, and it's all over the kitchen.
So the Vitamix on the high speed will reach your ceiling, especially if you have blueberries in it.
Right.
Of course, if you have blueberries.
Only when you have blueberries. And you're wearing white.
Ceiling, I would think.
And you're wearing white.
And it would taste delicious.
And then Dominique goes, if you think that's the first time that's going to happen, because I've done it twice now in like 6 years. So I've done it twice. And she goes, she's done it 4 times in like 20 years because it's hers. And I've done it. She goes, so how many times I'm going to do it? She goes, she thinks I'm going to do it 3. And I still have only done it twice. But that Vitamix, so what I've done is I've taped it. See? I put tape over it. So if anybody, and people have known. And it's been on Facebook. Hit that left-hand button. Have you ever done it?
I have not done it.
Do you have a Vitamix?
I don't.
I want to buy you one. Just because I want you to do it.
A Ninja.
No.
Oh, there we go.
Well,
we have a Ninja.
Same thing. You have a lefty button.
Yeah.
Do you have a lefty button?
Yeah.
No.
Possibly.
No.
You know, that thing that you did with the paint, that was an accident. You really need to consider setting up the scenario where you'd now start doing it on purpose. Put a ring of canvas, set up a ladder, and a little drop system, and different small, maybe pint cans of paint, and drop them straight down and just watch them splash. Well, it's therapy, but it's also a whole different. It's called drop art.
Yeah, that's cute.
Drop painting.
Yeah, drop painting.
Anyway,
that's really cute.
Just an idea.
Yeah. Well, it's not. It'll be very therapeutic for me. But I am because really, you know what it is? It's humbling. Because I don't really. Do you? You know, really says because it's fun. You play whatever. But that one time that it was the Grand Slam. You know, in the 7th game of the World Series. It was everything. And that's how life works.
I know.
It is.
It's a lesson to be learned.
It is lesson. It was the biggest lesson. And I handled it so with grace and dignity and glamour. I blew. Okay? And that's why. And that's why. And so, you know, it was a good test and I failed it miserably.
It's okay.
Well, but no, that's not a fail. You experienced a moment, you expressed your emotions, and you enjoyed the creation that happened after that. No. That's how we handle the unknown.
I went in and I cried. I didn't finish. Then I called up my therapist. No, I let it all out. I was just saying, I have a lot of deep-seated emotions I needed to get through.
There you go.
So we haven't seen Michelle for a little while. What have you been up to?
Great. She's got glasses.
I know, I have my glasses.
You look really smart.
Thank you.
Seriously, got the heart, got smart, and you look rested.
Wow.
No?
Well, that's good because Pal, I haven't been here because Pal has been so incredibly busy.
Really? Well, you're handling it. You must have taken like this some kind of like, you know, class of, you know, time management.
No.
No,
I don't think it's that.
What is it?
I think
great kids and great staff.
Absolutely. And I did bring a guest today. He program officer of our new automotive program, DRAGG. With 2 G's. Okay. Drag Racing Against Gangs and Graffiti. Wow. But really, we have been so busy at the teen center.
How many kids do we have?
Right now, we have close to 100.
Nice. That
are coming in and out in a week. So it is. We have 10 in this new program, beautiful. And I think it's probably he'll Sergeant Beecher will give us more information. Nice. But it is. We have never been this busy at PAL, and so it's a good busy, and that's why I love doing what I do. But that's also why I haven't been here, and why Jess hasn't been here, because we have been busy.
So who came up with this? It's a genius idea, because it's kind of like we had this scrock, I guess, you know, because automotive, I mean, that's just great. I mean, kids love that. I mean, getting into cars and stuff like that, that's so is that, it was that.
Yeah, so what happened was a few years ago, I met these guys down in Oxnard, and they are police officers with Oxnard Police Department, and they had a program that they started about 8 years ago called DRAGG, which is Drag Racing Against Gangs and Graffiti. And so I met them at a car show actually, and told them that I was a police officer in Santa Barbara, and that I've been in the cars my whole life, and I want to do a program with kids, like an auto shop from high school, like I took when I was in high school. And a lot of the auto shops are gone now, and so the trades are really hurting for people. They're looking for plumbers, electricians, mechanics, and so it's it's an important system that's available to kids out there that really is lacking in people, and they're looking for those people. And there's a lot of good jobs out there to be had when if you leave high school and just want to go and get a job. They're out there, and but we want to this program is meant to prepare you for that, to get out there and get ready for that.
I don't know of another one out there, is there? There's nothing in high school, right? No.
San Marcos is the only high school in Santa Barbara that has automotives.
Nice.
So this is going to bring it to.
So where is it at? Where is it located? Is it?
We have an auto shop down at 926 in Dio Muerto, which is off of Milpas, and behind Del Pozo Tire there, right there at the freeway entrance, and. We have 10 kids right now, and they come from Dos Pueblos, Santa Barbara High School, and La Cuesta High School. We had a couple of San Marcos High School kids actually last year. And so we have a really strong core 10 group right now that's doing really well, but we're trying to grow it to about 15 or so, and so we're always looking for more kids to bring in, but we're really targeting
more money.
Okay,
but we're really targeting the sophomores, or sophomore is going to be juniors, and seniors at high school, trying to prepare them to get through high school and graduate, and look at the automotive industry maybe as a possibility to.
Fantastic. All right, we'll talk about a little bit more of the break, but then we're going to get right back to you. All right. Okay. This is Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. We'll be back with a lot more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
So let's get back to this. This is I love this. So can we get a certification for this?
Yeah. So ultimately, what's happening is we're working with the school district to try to get high school credit.
Beautiful.
When you go through the program. At the moment, it's just an after-school program that's part of PAL.
Nice.
And but ultimately, you can get community service time, because we go out and do a lot of events in the community, and car shows and different events like that, and so we get the kids out there working in the community and meeting people and things like that.
So what kind of cars are the kids getting to work on? Is it the more expensive cars, or the cars with fuel injection? Or I don't know that much about automotives, but what can they look forward to?
I don't know a lot about automotives, but the first project is really exciting.
Yeah, so the police department has owned a 1957 Chevy police car for about 13 or 14 years now, and the car is way overdue for a restoration, and so that's their first project. So they just actually, I think yesterday, just pulled the motor and transmission out of it. So they're really excited about getting into that car and start taking it apart, and we're going to redo the car. And we have sponsors that are helping us with auto body paint and things like that, and they're going to bring the kids into their shops, show them how to do body work and how it works and how to paint, so they get that experience, get to see what it's like. And a lot of our sponsors and companies that are helping out with the program are also interested in even giving these kids jobs, in the future, if not summer jobs, part-time jobs, or internships and things like that. So, if you're a company out there that's looking for somebody, kids like that, that's what we're trying to cultivate, are these kids to go out and work in these jobs.
Yeah, and it's not just working at an automobile shop, because I had a landscaping company and we had a mechanic, because we had a fleet of trucks and equipment that we were using. So being able to work on engines is really critical skill in many industries.
Oh, it's so important. Mm-hmm. And I just went and met with the Partners in Education, had meeting last week where our superintendent spoke, and one of the new standards for college and career readiness coming out of high school used to be test score. You got to score this high on a test, and then you are ready for the world. Now they're looking at sort of more multifaceted, and one of the things they're looking at are career technical education courses. Realizing, our goal at PAL, our mission is to build these positive relationships with law enforcement. Mm-hmm. So all these kids in DRAGG get to interact with Sergeant Beecher and Officer Gutierrez and Officer Bryan and other officers who are involved in that program. Plus they come to PAL and they get that experience. But our goal is they all graduate from high school with a goal, with an idea of what they want to do. And when give them hope. Right.
I mean, come on, they don't have anything and they don't want anything. Now you've built it, put something in their head, and the relationship that you've created. And in the reverse, too, let's just put it like this. I mean, there's trouble in the neighborhood where you've built a bond with these kids as well. Now you're like, whoa, Eddie's lives on 5th Street. You're like, now right. You want to get down there as well. Yeah. So it builds the whole community.
It's creating opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely.
And something that they might not have had a place to go, but and also it's an opportunity for them to experience something that they wouldn't otherwise get to experience, right. and it may spark something in them that go, oh gee, I didn't know I like to do this. Right. It may not be automotive, it may be something else, because there's a lot of things that we do with a project like that, and that's managing projects, that's labeling parts and ordering parts and all the stuff, and so there's a lot more to it than just mechanical. There's lots of things you can do in the industry that's a multi-billion-dollar industry that there's so many directions you can go with it. That it's just an opportunity for them to see these other things and be a part of it.
Right. Well, and we have one student from last year. We did maybe an 8-week session in the spring, maybe a little bit longer, and one of the girls. Most of these kids probably would have never come through the door of PAL without this DRAGG program. Now we have Angel who comes to the music program. He'll pop in. And then we had another young woman who realized she likes DRAGG, but she wants to be a part of the Explorer Post as well. So she's doing both programs. So she's with the PAL program almost 9 hours a week.
Right. And she's one that's really wants to be a police officer someday. And we don't get a lot of local homegrown police officers these days. A lot of them are hired from out of town, and so it's really important for us, I think, to try to cultivate those local kids, because they have the local ties to the community and they know people and they understand Santa Barbara, and we are a unique city. So it's important for us to get those kids to come up through the ranks and hopefully become a police officer.
Are you from Santa Barbara?
No, not originally. I'm from Indiana, but I've lived here since I was 14, and so I went to Dos Pueblos. And I've been here 35 years, so now you get an idea how old I am.
I'm so glad to hear that girls and guys are showing up for the program, because this is critical. The best person with mechanics in my family was my mom. She just has this genius knack. It may have come, sorry, Mom, if you're listening, it may have come from when she was a kid, and her dad, when he got mad at the kids, would lock them in their bedroom, and she figured out how to undo the lock on the door.
Right.
And she just got great with mechanical things, no problem. So, it's a wonderful thing. And if you don't give it a try, you don't find out that you can do it.
Oh, absolutely. And we have, even our Explorer Post is almost 50-50. Young men and young women. So it's exciting to be able to provide these opportunities for them. And the instructor that we have is retired SBCC automotive instructor, still working there. So not only is our goal for them to receive high school credit, but the dual credit with the thought that they'll continue at CC and earn that certification. That's
really huge, because I have a good friend who now has an excellent career with Audi, and he went through the SBCC auto shop. Yep.
Yep. Well, one of our sponsors, one of our PAL kids before, he's aged out of PAL, and he's really sad that the DRAGG program wasn't here when he was here, but he works for one of our sponsors, and he's in SBCC program, and he's come out to the DRAGG garage, and
he comes out and helps out, and he really likes doing what he's doing. He's getting to build hot rods at a hot rod shop in town, and he just loves going to work, and I like the fact too that he doesn't forget where he came from.
He's giving back,
and he's giving back. And he wants to help those kids that he was where he was at, just a few years ago himself. So it's pretty amazing to watch these kids and what they learn and how grateful they are for what they've gotten through PAL. So.
And nothing's more satisfying than being able to, at some point, say to your mom, hey, you need the oil change? Not a problem. I got it. That feels really good.
Well, you make a lot of money. I mean, you take your car into the service station or, a dealer especially. I mean, you get your bill. I mean, I don't care. I mean, it's pricey. So, to get these things done.
I know they get paid well. I've paid them very well over the years.
They get like over $90, $100 an hour. That's expensive.
And that's that's just the labor.
Yeah.
That doesn't include parts.
No, I know.
But, if you look at the at those garages, too, the hours are very good for these young people who also want to raise a family in the future. Most of them out here are Monday through Friday. So it's a great opportunity for our kids.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm not an auto mechanic, I actually worked as a teenager at a Texaco station back in Phoenix doing oil, lube, and filter, pumping gas. That's when they had full service. And one of the times when I went to check this one gal's oil, I pulled the dipstick out and I wiped it and I went to put it back in, and I don't know what I hit, but the end of the dipstick glowed red hot. I don't know what it was I hit, but we got it cooled down, and we took care of it, and she was on her way. And I think I was there another 2 weeks, and that was about it. But no, I think that's great education. Now, in terms of older and newer vehicles, in terms of that kind of training, because the newer vehicles, you're talking computers.
Yeah, so we want to learn. They want to teach them the basics first. How to do an oil change, how do brakes work, how does the car work.
In general, how an engine works.
In general terms, right? And then
I feel like I need to take that course. I don't know how the engine works.
But now you can plug a scanner in, right? And the scanner tells you a code, and you look it up, and this is the part you need to change. But they can learn to do that too. So that's part of the stuff that they're going to be teaching and learning in this class. But we try to get down to the basics and just to get an idea of how things work in general and get comfortable around a vehicle.
I predict within the next 10 years, you will be teaching them how to take care of electric cars.
I'm sure of that. Yeah.
Or there'll be no cars, and we'll just be,
that'll be fine with me.
We'll just we'll be picked up. We'll be picked up.
There'll still be cars.
They'll still be picked up. Yeah, they'll still be. Yeah, exactly.
High-speed monorail.
Yeah, that's what Dominique says. Yeah,
they still need mechanics.
That's true. Oh, that's for sure. Oh yeah, they'll be working on cars most definitely, or electric cars. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
So you'll keep on. I guess. No, time to go. Okay, smushy. Don't raise your voice. I'm tender. Let's take breaks. Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen, will be back with a lot more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
Dominique, where else can you find us?
I knew you were going to ask that.
Yes.
I really like the internet. We have www.teensportsradio.com, and we have all of our radio. It's not a podcast, but you can click on it and listen to it. I am working on the podcast, almost there. We got YouTube. All the radio shows are posted on YouTube. Instagram. Do we do Twitter? We might do Twitter. And yeah,
Facebook.
Facebook. Hey, Facebook's a great one. Sunday at 6 p.m., Monday at 3 a.m., and Tuesday we're on twice. We're at 9 a.m. and 11 p.m. All right.
You did fantastic.
Thank you.
Good job.
Fantastic. And if you just joined us, we have an awesome guest that was brought in by Michelle Meyering. Thank you. I love it when we're graced by an officer in blue from Santa Barbara. It's a sergeant, Officer Beecher. Beecher, right?
Yes.
Thank God. Because your thing, your medal is because I got Beecher. I mean, I'm going to make sure it's shiny, and I'm going like this with my head as a reflection. We got to change the lighting in here. Either that, or I have to wear glasses. You've got glasses. I
have
wear
my glasses on.
now. I want to be like you.
I want to be like you.
No,
we're gonna have to meet in the middle.
So all of a sudden, I saw your art. I'm like, God. Darn it.
The two of them are going to be in perpetual change.
I said, God,
she
darn
wants
it.
to be like her. She wants to be like her, back and forth.
You really like.
Thank you. Well,
really,
Sergeant
you banged your head. Honestly, I've
just
over.
I know.
You've got good. Have you noticed? You've gotten better.
I know. Sergeant Beecher has 2 pieces hanging in his office.
Seriously?
He wants me to do a bigger piece, so I'm.
Go big.
I know.
I'm trying to get her to do one for my house.
Really?
Yes. I'm going to get there.
Why don't you just have her come into your office and just do the wall?
No, go big.
Just do the wall.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I have a guy that
know.
makes canvases. Like he'll just stretch them for you, like 10 feet, 8 by 10 feet, $90.
No, I already have a big one. It's just figuring out the technique of making sure. So I've worked on a few large pieces.
You have 4 people to hold it.
Yes, that's because you have to tip and tilt and swirl and whirl.
I know. Just let it go. Let it go.
So
another way to do it, you hang it from the ceiling so that you then get on one of those car crawlers, which you could get, Sergeant, from the auto mechanics department, and then you get your paint and your paintbrush, and you lay on your back, and you just move around under the 10-foot canvas painting.
But this is drip art, and it's
would be
fluid, and it would just be
That's
fluid.
the wrong
yes.
way. Okay.
I know. But I did want to say with the DRAGG program, it is a PAL program, so we do not charge kids for any of these programs. We do have great sponsors who helped get the program up and running, but in November, kickstarting November 15th, the Independent, in partnership with the Fund for Santa Barbara, is kicking off their 2nd annual SB Gives campaign, and DRAGG will be one of those programs that was selected. So if you are listening and you want to contribute, I mean, it can be $10, it can be $10,000, or anywhere in between. That's a great avenue because that will go directly to the DRAGG program. Nice. But I found out that through this SB Gives with the Independent and the Fund, they go out independently. The Independent goes out independently and raises matching funds. Oh, wow. So each organization will then get a percentage of that matching fund based on the percentage of the total amount raised during the campaign. So anything given through that campaign has the possibility of increasing through the matching. So it's a great time to give to the DRAGG program. Look out for, it'll be November 15th. It will be in the Independent.
So remind us again, DRAGG stands for?
Drag Racing Against Gangs and Graffiti.
Woo! I love it. Is there a telephone number or website that they can go to?
Yeah, they can. It's through PAL. It's the PAL program. So the PAL number is 805-962-5560, and you get information on all of our incredible programs. And then the website is www.sbpal.org, and under programs there will be a link for the DRAGG program. And I think Santa Barbara DRAGG has also sbdragg.org.
Yes, sbdragg.
You should send me pictures, and then we could post them on Teen Sports Radio.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll do that because they're starting to get in.
So if you see a really fancy 2018 Camaro that looks like a police car, that's us.
That's our mascot car.
Nice.
With all the bells and whistles, literally. All the bells and whistles.
The kids love it because it's 630 horsepower and brand new Camaro and with Lamborghini doors and the whole bit. So we took it to all the shows around town. It gets quite the attention. So
so you did that there?
Yeah, the car is is a promotional car for the program. A lot of our sponsors, all of our sponsors, paid for the car, and sponsors gave us the wheels and the tires and the body kits and paint and all that stuff. And so
with all the kids,
a lot of stuff was almost the whole car was donated. So.
Nice. And I'll
Magnus the supercharger.
We'll make it really nice. Teen Sports Radio.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an incredible
Where
program.
will you be at next with the car so that if kids want to come by and see it?
Well, actually, we're going to be at SEMA show, which is in Las Vegas.
Nice.
So it's the largest aftermarket show in the world. Several 100,000 people go to this show every year, and it's at the Las Vegas Convention Center. So one of our sponsors, American Authority, is going to have the car in their booth there, and so we're going to be seen maybe worldwide at that point.
Maybe you'll have an impact on other communities to do a drag at their PAL.
Well,
It's growing.
That's we have there's a drag program. Obviously, it was started in Oxnard. They have one there. They have one in Phoenix now, and there's some other cities that are also looking at it. So our goal is to expand the program to other cities. A lot like a DARE program, but it's automotive based, but it's still law enforcement involved with kids.
Nice.
Phoenix is one place I would not want to be an auto mechanic,
No.
especially in the summer. You're working on a hot car in the heat.
That's what air conditioning's for, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but usually the garage door's wide open.
That's true.
We're taking 40 kids down to CSUN this weekend, and we introduced, I don't know if you met Darren Spiller, but we actually were just singing your praises and gave him your contact information because after the building, the $17 million building gets built out, and I had mentioned to Darren, I said, you really should think about designating a portion of the building to a PAL program. And he went, because that's the thing with, combining law enforcement with the kids down at Cal State Northridge, because the whole community, and it was just like, Darren, baseball,
Right.
the police, and then, unfolding that whole thing.
Yeah.
Because it's their building. The building is private. It's all, fully funded under a nonprofit. It's Home Field for Champions. So Dominique and I are on the board down there. It's all kind of an extension of Santa Barbara Wellness under Teen Sports Radio, kind of like we're all kind of part of it to go down there as well.
Yeah, the community that you're building through PAL, we're just so grateful for everything that the police are doing in order to interact with the kids and build a community with the teens and giving them a safe place to be, a place to tutor, a place to do flamingo, work on cars, play games, form relationships. It's just, words can't express. So grateful to everything you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Because the whole thing about where it's kind of gone separate, but it comes back together again. When it gets way wide, all you got to do is think of how to play together, and then it comes back together again. It's kind of gotten, it doesn't make any sense, but it'll get back. This is genius. And, you get officers, like, you could just tell you're so heartfelt anyway. Come on, at the end of the day, we're all connected, so you get Michelle and you and yourself. When you sit there and just breathe and you look at each other in the eye, because when we went down there, this is our second year. We bring our kids from up here and we go down there and they play together down there. Nobody knows.
Right.
You have a ball and a bat. It's all, the kids just want to play.
Right.
There's no judging. It's really kind of crazy. Honestly, if all you guys, and you bring your ball and a bat, really, it'd be so much fun.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
just, it would work. There would be nothing. Nobody would know.
So nothing replaces spending time with people, whether you're an adult spending time with kids, your kids with adults, all of us are senior citizens. Nothing in our community replaces the importance of spending time, looking people in the eye, and just being there.
It'd work. It's magic. Take a break. It's Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. We'll be back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
Every single Tuesday.
Not to zing. Okay. Oh, we're going to talk about, zing. Yes, we're going to talk about Haunted House, which was outstanding. I went to it last year.
I know.
They tried to scare me. They tried to grab my ankles.
The best hour of Teen Sport Radio because it's like all PAL. It's all PAL and Teen Sport Radio.
I love PAL.
Can't go wrong with that.
What happens when you're gone for so long? There's a lot to talk about.
I know. I'm back.
The whole hour.
I know. So last year you came to the haunted house. So
awesome.
Every year our Youth Leadership Council, high school students, transform our little teen center into a haunted house. And you guys saw it. It's amazing.
It's a 10.
They've been planning it since the summer, working on it. We've gotten all the haunted house stuff out. And so October 26th and 27th from 6 to 9 p.m., everybody come out to the PAL Teen Center, 1235 Chapala, corner of Victoria Street and Chapala. And it's fabulous. $5. And they scare me every year.
It's a scream.
Yes.
It's a scream.
It was awesome.
Yes. They're the actors. It is a fundraiser. We do usually have one sponsor that helps with the costs of putting it on. But they use this as a fundraiser to do their Thanksgiving Day baskets. They adopt 5 families and deliver them a basket for them to create a Thanksgiving meal for their family. So it's one of their fundraisers, but they love doing it. And kids who are so kind of laid back and quiet and shy in the teen center, oh no, you give them a role in the haunted house.
A role with a mask and a hood.
And some of them don't even need the mask and the hood. You just give them a role and all of a sudden they get possessed or something. I don't know. But they get me every year.
It's a really fun place to meet your friends and take your family. It's a really fun thing to do.
Oh, I know. And you're right downtown, so you can go grab something to eat before or after. And, come out and support the kids. And
so, say the dates you're doing it on?
It's October 26th and 27th from 6 to 9 p.m. at PAL's 1235 Teen Center, 1235 Chapala Street. So the fright level is 13 plus. So
take that seriously.
Yeah, because it's a little scary. And the admission is $5. If you're a high school student, look for one of my kids, they're all my kids, one of the PAL's teens, because they are selling during pre-sale tickets for $4.
Oh, excellent.
So if you're at the high school, you might have a friend that's selling them. But it's a great event.
Excellent. And I recommend holding somebody's hand when you walk through it because it is creepy.
It is creepy. And I see it in daylight. And then I go through it at night and it's still I'm like, I don't want to go to that room, but I want to stay in this room. So I got to get. Yeah, they do a great job.
Yeah, I videoed it and I screamed twice. I was okay until they grabbed my leg. I didn't know. It was right around the corner. Oh, what was that? I was like, oh, got me.
Yeah, it's good. So, I don't know. Beecher, have you been through it?
I'm not. I might have to go this time.
You're going to have to go this time. They do a fantastic job. And you go through with the guide. It's not one of those free-for-all.
Yeah, no.
And so every year when it's my turn on the radio, they always go, next group coming through, it's Miss Michelle. It's Miss Michelle. So they get me.
That's awesome. You know what? I have a odd question only because I've been out of being in school with my kids. So the kids at PAL, how do they address all the officers and all the various adults that are helping out with the program? Do they address people with your first name, your last name?
Lots of times we always introduce the officers, like if Sergeant Beecher's there, the first time we introduce them, this is Sergeant Beecher. Once they're in the program or they go to a camp where they see him outside of the role of an officer, it might change. And I sort of leave that up to the officers and the sergeants of how they want to be acknowledged with the kids. With Officer Bryan, sometimes it's just Kerr, with Officer Gutierrez, sometimes it's Gucci, It just sort of depends on the situation, but it's always, I was raised by I was in the South for a long time.
Right.
So I'm always
we did
yes,
Mrs.
ma'am.
And, yeah, exactly.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
And I'm usually Miss Michelle. But part of what we're doing is sort of breaking down that barrier.
Exactly.
And letting them see officers as their mentors, as their partners. So I sort of leave it up to them. I don't know. What do they address you at the drag shop?
It varies. Sometimes they say, "Hey, you." Sometimes, a lot of them now they're starting to call me Sarge. So they kind of are starting to learn what the rank structure is like at the police department, since we talk about it a little bit. But they usually use my first name for the most part. But I've noticed lately that a few of them will say, "Hey, Sarge," this or that, so I assume they're talking to me. But,
well, it's like people should realize that's an okay question to ask. And the reason why I brought it up is because one of my children is transgendered. And so in our family, we've had to figure out changing pronouns.
Absolutely.
And learn that it's okay to ask someone, how do you want to be addressed?
Absolutely.
So, and a lot of times, especially in business situations, I've frequently addressed people as yes, sir, or yes, ma'am. And then I've gotten feedback going, oh, you don't have to be that formal. You actually make me uncomfortable. So it's very interesting. It's actually a question that we need to ask.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it was difficult for me. We know when you switch. I'm just saying. When you know what I'm saying. When you're just
if you're dealing with someone who has experienced a transgendered interaction, changing from calling someone a he and then changing to a she or an it or they or however they want to be addressed, it's a little tricky.
Oh, absolutely.
So we add that into the mix.
Yeah. Fuck, I'm very confused. Let's take a little break because I'm confused anyway. Okay, this is Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. We'll be back with a lot more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
Well, you were supposed to start the show with this, but, we got all palled out, because I got all nervous because there's an officer in the house, and I'm like, I had to put my hoodie
sergeant.
on. A sergeant.
A
I had to put my hoodie up. When he walks in, I'm like, oh, no. No, I'm just kidding. Put your hands together for... So I know who it is, but do we call all officers now? How is it? We don't call everybody like first responders, right? Is that what the whole category is now? Is first responders? No.
Yeah,
everybody's a first responder, right? Like safety, first responders. Like a fireman, first responder.
Yes.
Everybody's like pretty much under the. I want to make sure I say it right. Okay, now, so you got trumped. No pun. Okay, you know how that is, right? Oh, I got to be careful of saying that word. Okay, so now you looked up something, so I want to let you talk about it because it was good.
Well, this kind of, it fits in. It fits in probably with a lot of the reasons why kids are coming to PAL. Right. I was researching an article about what kids are looking for in a coach. Frequently, we're talking about the importance of kids being in sports or being involved in teams, being involved in activities. And I was just thinking, well, what are kids looking for in us as adults when we mentor them through our various programs and stuff? And I was a little surprised by what the survey said about what they were looking for. Do you know the number one thing they were looking for?
You wouldn't tell me in the car, so it's like she sets up. Well, tell me now. I can tell you. So what is it?
I say we're going to discuss on the air. This is something that I think as a coach you were known for doing. The number one thing that kids really appreciate with adults who are coaching them or in programs is that everyone gets a chance to play.
Yes.
That is actually the top thing that was most important to kids, that everyone gets a chance to play. That was more important than winning, was the fact that everyone gets a chance to play. And then the next thing that the kids voted on in this survey about what they wanted from a coach was to learn new skills. And not just sports skills. They want to know life skills.
Absolutely.
and they want to feel like the adult that's interacting with them, the adult's not just kicking back and playing, but is actually there teaching them something
helping
that
them
they don't
develop
know.
into productive citizens.
Exactly. So I thought that was really cool. And basically, we're trying to create environments where we're growing as a community, and that the emphasis is on not that you're perfect, but that we're all here to learn. And that there's safe places to make mistakes, and that the adults that we're interacting with are honest. That, they're encouraging, but they're also realistic, and they're honest with us about whatever we're doing that we need to work more on, and so forth. And in the arena of winning, it's more about putting it into perspective. So, for example, if you win against a super easy team, that win doesn't feel as good as a win where you won against a team that maybe gone up to a couple of times, and this was the first time you did win.
Absolutely.
So putting everything into perspective, that was really important.
I am so thankful to offer to the Beecher. I didn't mean that. That's not your name or anything. It's more me. Believe me, I'm the one with the. He's squishing me and putting two fingers in the air. It's getting me very nervous. Or you're getting me nervous. I feel very nervous right now. I don't know. Maybe we have a past life experience together. You pulled me over because I was trying
to look
to make.
familiar.
I do. I don't know. Probably 15, 20 years ago. I don't know. In Tennessee. Where are you from? Indiana. That's close. Somewhere else. Driving across the country. I know it's a couple of seconds. Anyway, I think it's great that you ran out of your way, to trying to figure out something to do with the kids. You're a connector, right? And I do the same thing, and I think it's great. Michelle does the same thing. I mean, we're trying to unite. We're trying to create a community. I mean, that's what I love about Santa Barbara. There's a lot of us like that here. I mean, we birth things. Santa Barbarians birth things, right? We've had a really tough year. So being a first responder, I applaud you as well, Dr. D, this show. I love Santa Barbara. All right. Let's all make somebody happy today. Huh? All right. God bless you. See you next week.